Well, this is Steve Mitchell, two-star ambassador with Vi. I'd like to welcome you all as you join us on this All-Stars team hangout on a Tuesday. We always do it 30 minutes before the EU Vision Call. We're very, very excited to have you all on with us. And it's my pleasure to be a host, but also even more excited by the great panel I've got joining us right now. This is a truly international panel. Here I am over in Spain. I've got my lovely friend, one-star ambassador Calvin Adamus, lives in Spain, over in Sweden, and currently now in Germany. We're going to come to Calvin in a short while. We've got Mona from Sweden, way back, lives in Italy now, is storming away, building an amazing pre-launch business, already hit regional director as we launched. So we got Mona Johansson. Thank you, Mona, for joining us. And over in London in the UK, National Director Sean Beardmore. Three great panelists joining us here today. Now, we're not going to be addressing the closing of the month, even though right now that is the most important thing. And the reason is my lovely friend, three-star ambassador, Dave Ives, along with a special keynote from our founder, Blake Mallon, is going to be covering that right after this team hangouts, okay? So rather than me go and say things and then Dave goes and says them as well, what we're going to do, you must hang up at the end of this team hangout and go straight over to the vision call. I will give you all the numbers for the EU vision call, English language vision call. And Dave Ives is going to be closing the month, showing you exactly what every single person, you in your team, should be focused on as we now close off the month. So I'm going to take it back a little to basics. I had some people today asking me just a couple of things about what we do, and I thought with the great panel that we've got, all these guys are successfully building businesses in different countries, but are all following the VI system. And so what I thought it would be good is just to share a few tips about what I call the ABCs to the GST. Let me say that again, the ABC to the GST. Now that will make more sense when we go through some of these things. So perhaps let me just, I'm going to share my screen. Just a couple of slides I want to cover with you. The first things first is I just want to realize we all start with some contacts. We all start with the fact that we need to have people. This is the lifeblood of our business. Now, we all have contacts. Why? We've got them on Facebook, we've got them on LinkedIn, we have them on our mobile phone apps, but we all are taught to take the contacts and do something with them. And it's a very simple system that we follow. Now, I was taught a long time ago by a mentor of mine, always make sure you're making and building new contacts, new relationships. You will always feel comfortable, Steve, if ultimately you are in the way, you are actually always finding a way so that you yourself can be building new contacts. So with that, let me just take the screen share off for a second. Oh, revert that off. Cancel that. Sorry. Can you guys see my slide, or has it gone? Can you just... Okay, great, thank you. So with that in mind, people always say, Steve, how do you make contacts? I am constantly looking to build relationships with people. I am looking to actually find new people to talk to. I'm like a child without toys. If I don't know that my list, my contact base is not getting new names getting added to it all the time. I personally have always focused on adding at least three brand new names, and we're going to talk about in a moment different ways we can do that. Now, I'm going to quickly go around my panel. I'm interested to know how these guys keep adding and building their contact base, how they do that. Kelvin, can we go over to you, my friend? How do you keep finding people? How do you find people to talk to?
Yes, well, basically, Steve, thank you for Thank you for giving the opportunity to be on this panel. Well, basically what I do is I work through people. If I don't have contacts, I work with other people contacts. That means that if I have signed up a guy, I will sit down with him and go to all his name list, basically, and invite these people with him together. And if I'm totally out of context, I work then also with references. This is a very powerful way of inviting people. Because if someone comes to a meeting or having one-on-one with me and he thinks it's nothing for him, he just wants to use the products, well, that's great. I will ask him, hey, do you know somebody in your inner circle or someone you know which this might be something for? And then I will call that person and say, hey, listen, Steve Mitchell gave me your name. He's thought very highly about you, and Steve has a lot of respect for you. I just showed him a business the day before yesterday, and Steve thought, I should give you a call. Is there a way we can meet up? What is the best day for you, on Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm here in Berlin. We could catch up and we can have a beer together and learn each other, connect. Etc., etc. Basically, Steve, that's the way I do it. I do not like to play with ads. I do not like to put folders everywhere. But I always work through people and with people and get in context of the people.
Calvin, thank you, my friend. Great tip. So just by connecting people, very, very powerful indeed. Mona, what would you say? How would you find contacts? How do you constantly look to find new people to talk to?
Okay, I am working quite similar to Calvin, but as you know, Steve, I'm a social media freak. So I'm stuck on social media since 2007, and I work a lot with Facebook and other social medias to make new friends. But it's just to connect to people, to new people, and then go and meet them. Go meet them means meet them on Skype. Always with visual, always with webcam, and if I have the possibility, if they are around me in Italy or places nearby, if there are interesting contacts, I always go and meet them. So I go through the social media to become a Facebook friend and become a real life friend. So I use a lot social media, but of course also my circle of influence, friends of friends, and talking to everybody. I'm talking to everybody.
Can you hear me okay? Sorry about that. Mona, do you jump straight in with talking about Vi, or do you build on the relationship? Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, it's all about building a rapport. I always build a rapport before. It takes a little bit longer because you need to know people, but this is also real life. So it's always about building a relationship, and sooner or later the question will become, what are you doing? What is your business? So I always work on, I want to know you. I'm interested in you as a person. And I also seriously am interested. So I feel that. People feel that also, even if you are an online contact. And I build on this. Now I have done this for many years, so I already have built these relationships, and it's more quicker for me now to connect also to a business talk. But it's all about relationships, all.
Awesome. Great tips. Thank you very much. Sean, my friend, this is something I know you use social media, but again, you're very good at. You've right in the process. You're working very much in the hidden market, building new relationships. Share some thoughts about what you've been doing to build new contacts.
It's a number of key ways, actually, Steve. Predominantly, I do follow Mona's methodology of building relationships. That's paramount. But how do you find these people? I do stick with Facebook as the primary, but I do look at other alternatives as well as LinkedIn. But on Facebook, you've got a fantastic opportunity there to attract people to you, because I'm focused on attraction marketing, as opposed to some people do it the wrong way and actually sort of post links about the business, and it just turns people off and turns people away. So how can you attract people to the business? You share other people's stories, you share people's successes, and you build a relationship from the comments you get and the likes you get. And you build a friendship, like Mona says, and you continue that building process. It can take a little bit longer, but you find that the process is a lot better. But also look at other ways of networking offline as well. I'm an avid networker in networking groups and clubs, and ongoing basis of finding new people. But Facebook, you look at Open Search and look at other groups and similar groups that you could be part of, and just getting conversations with people. Don't spam links. It really does annoy me when I see that too much. But look at Facebook Open Graph Search, look at the groups that you can be involved with, and join some other pages of other interests, and build friendships, build relationships. That's one of my keys that I do.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that word there you said, Sean, attraction marketing, that's very powerful indeed. Sorry, guys, my camera seems to have disappeared, so probably perfect. As I say, I've got the perfect face for radio, not video. But what, Sean, yeah, so you don't just simply connect with someone. Again, it sounds the same. I mean, you guys are 3 leaders, you're crafting in different markets, but funnily enough, doing the same thing. You don't just jump straight in and go, hey, I've got a business opportunity. You seem to, and there were great words, attraction marketing, getting people. Would that be correct? Have I got that right?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. It's about people wanting to know more. And I can tell you over the last year or so building the Vibe business, there are hundreds of people watching me. There are 100 people watching me, seeing what my movements are, and I get comments, I get Facebook messages. Who's that lady who's lost all that weight? And you're building customer relationships, and you're posting success stories. For example, the recent event in Amsterdam, the leadership event, sharing those kind of stories. People going, what's going on here? They want to know more, and then you're attracting people as opposed to being push, push, push. You're bringing people to you.
And I guess it's going to take a bit longer, Sean. I guess building the relationship, people have got to be patient. Would that be fair?
Absolutely, absolutely. Whilst we have these timescales that our goals, our personal goals that we want to achieve certain ranks, there are some solid relationships which, if taken time and taken correctly, will reap rewards. They really will if you find the right people. Whether it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get that relationship, get that conversation, go and get them to see a presentation, get on a 3-way call with you, Steve, or another leader in the team. That's the step process. Is it worth those 3 to 4 weeks? Absolutely. It's like mining for diamonds. The phrase mining for diamonds. It's worth chipping away. It's worth chipping away. But get those relationships going and attract those people to you.
I'll share it's a great advice, Sean. I'll share a true story with one of my lovely friends as a panelist in the moment about exactly that. About it's worth being patient. Let's move on, and really, beyond obviously once we start then to go through the actual making the contacts. We have a set process that we follow through. I'll just take it back a slide there, and we start to challenge people. Now the challenge. This is my take on the challenge. The challenge is simply an invitation for people to take a look. So with that in mind, people need to relax more with it. What I'm saying by that is too many people get on a phone call and think they've got to start telling them all about VI, the Project 10, what trisord protein, what's the molecular breakdown of the vitamins, and no. The challenge is simply an invite. And if this helps all of you, this is what I would say. Focus on keeping the challenge to a 2-minute call. Now, I always text first. I always SMS first. And that's because I just want to get their attention. And I want them to, the first thing I want to do when I make a phone call, what we call a challenge call, is I want to say, hey, did you get my text? Exactly as we train in the Getting Started training. But this is the mistake I think some people make. And it's something I did in the beginning. We spend too long on the challenge. It's got to be 2 minutes, and it has one single objective. And that is only to be able to party with them. Now, we'll come to the partying in a moment, but just so we're clear, a party is simply, taste the shake, look at an overview, and I'm going to get a friend to say hi, what we call a closeout. That's a party, okay? So the objective of a challenge call is in 2 minutes to get that person's name in a diary when at some point they are going to be partied with. Now, I'm going to go to a couple of my panel, not for time, we won't go to all of them for now, but this is something I think that's really important. Keep the objective in mind. You just want to, when you make a phone call to someone, you just want to say, hey, listen, I've just got something very, very exciting. Now, Here's the words I use, if it's any help at all. I say to people, hey, listen, have you heard about the challenge? I go with an assumption. Hey, listen, Mona, have you heard about the challenge? And Mona might say, no, Steve, I saw your text. What do you mean challenge? And I go with an assumption. I would say, Mona, what? You haven't heard about the Project 10 challenge? You're kidding me. Nobody's told you about the challenge. Now, we all know that 99% of people have never heard about the challenge. So what I do then is I simply say, you've just got to take a look at this. You need to take a look at this. Need is a great word. You need to take a look at this. When can you give me 30 minutes? And that is where you are looking. Remember, the objective of the challenge call is simply to book in the diary an opportunity to party with them. Okay? Now, the first thing you're going to do is get them together around a home party. And we're going to talk about partying in a moment, but I'm going to quickly just go, I'm going to go to Mona and just say, to ask Mona literally, you know, if Mona, what would you say when you make that challenge call to someone? Is there any little words you might use or something like that that perhaps works for you?
Okay, for me works very well. I hope I haven't, there's no one of my people in the room, they will understand my tricks. I always use I would call Calvin or Sean. I need to show you something. You are the first person that came into my mind when I discovered this. When I saw this this challenge, and you need to come to my place. We need to talk about this. You are the only one I could think about who has to see this first. My English is horrible. Let me say it in Italian. I give them the feeling of you are the first person I thought about when I saw this, and you need to see this. This is measured for you. Do you understand? Do you get this?
So Mona, can I just get this clear? So you really compliment them. You make them feel really good and say their opinion matters to you. You want to hear what they want to share. There's something. Yeah. So you put them high up.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I have something really hot, and the first person that came into my mind, it was you. When can we talk? When can we meet?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Calv, is there anything that you might share? And we're talking about the challenge call now. So you're asking me so that I can find 30 minutes to sit down, taste a shake, watch an overview. Any words in a couple of minutes you might be able to help that would get me to that place?
Yes, Steve. You need to understand, Steve, that I'm only 3 months in Vicelis, so I never worked in developed countries already. So most of the times I work with people from influential people. And what I always tend to say, because my objective is to invite them to come to my place or to a challenge overview we have. And so I don't want to speak too long with them on the phone. I don't want them to start asking about the compensation plan, about the product, and about that. So what I will say is, especially to influential people, I will say, listen, the company has exists from 2005 from 2005 to 2009. We did 60 million turnover. Might not so much, but from 2009 to 2014, we did $1.7 billion turnover. Why is that? You know, as a professional, that MLM companies don't reach the $1 billion mark. You know that an MLM company doesn't reach to 5 years. Well, this company did this amount of money turnover in only America and Canada in time of crisis. You know, in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and still the country is in crisis. Well, this company did $1.7 billion. Why is that? You know, well, the guy who is responsible for that turnover is coming to Berlin, to London, or wherever. Or we're going to explain the reason why that is tomorrow night and on Thursday night. Which day is the best day for you? And this way, by saying it this way, they're not going to ask questions about the compensation plan, about the product. They're just curious how it's possible that we have such a big change in 2009. And if I can add that, the reason why is that because we had a difference in strategy. They changed the strategy, they changed the compensation plan, and they changed some products. They changed the product. But I won't go any further than that. And then this way I will invite him to come over. It will help very much if one of the company owners, co-founders is around. He's coming, like say for example, the next couple of days. That will help, because I say, hey, the guy responsible for this turnover, the change of turnover, is coming to town. Do you want to meet him? Even though you don't like it, you might pick up something that will help you in your own business you're doing now. So they will come, and let me put it this way: put 10 people in front of Nick, and they are not people anymore. They come in as people, they get out as promoters.
Absolutely. And you know, I understand what you said right in the beginning. Those were words you tend to focus on using for influencers. Correct. But then there's many people watching this Hangout now that want to know the words to use with influencers. So great words, Cal. Thank you for that. And you know, that's the key. Obviously, the words change depending on who you're talking to. And Calvin now is focused on talking to influencers because of the stage he's at. But there's some great words he shared there. So I appreciate that, guys. Conscious of time, and obviously we've only literally got about another 5 minutes. And there's a couple of things I do want to cover, I want to share. Obviously, after the challenge, once you get into the challenge, the whole point of the challenge is to do one thing, is to get people partied with. Now, you know, let's get clear. A challenge party is just taste the shake, let me show you the overview, and by the way, you can chat to a friend. Maybe if, let's say, Mona or Sean is my upline, I might say, I want to just get you talking to my business partner, Sean. And then at the end of that, are you a 1, 2, or 3? That is a party. And too many people think the party is just around a home. Now, of course, the best way to party with people is on a coffee table around your house, because it's informal, it's relaxed, people feel comfortable there, but it's not the only way. And that's really important, that people say, that they can say, well, listen, take the party to people. It even tells us this in the Getting Started training. And how do you do that? Take a sample, and if you can take a shaker or that, great, but otherwise take a sample, take a copy of the overview, and every single one of you should have a copy of the strategy overview now. I asked this question in Rotterdam at the weekend. How many people could show me, I don't care if it's on an iPad, a laptop, it's in a paper little ring binder, so you've got a paper copy. How many of you show me a copy of the strategy overview? Because here's the question. If you can't show it to me, or you can't show it to working with, how on earth can you show it to a brand new contact, a prospect? So you ask for, are they a 1, 2, or 3? The answer from that will often be they've got a few questions. So that's when you would do follow-up. Now, I believe the best tool, I get this asked time and time again, what's the best way to follow up with someone? Yes, we can give them great links. We have amazing websites, results.vi.com, overview.vi.com. We could go on and on, different sites. You can go to challengegroups.vi.com. So anything you need, there is a link with information on it, with product information, with plan information. But I still think the very best tool you can ever use in follow-up is to bring on one of your upline leaders. Let's say now Sean is my upline leader. I might be chatting to Mona, who's my contact. Mona says, I've got a few questions, Steve. I might say, listen, I've got a great business partner. His name's Sean. He's been doing this a bit longer. Sean's getting great success. Mona, would it be okay if the three of us connected on Skype for 10, 15 minutes? And I'd love you to say hello to Sean, and I'd love you at the end of the day. Sean can answer your questions. Some of you don't use three-way calling or even three-way meetings. That's a real shame, because it's a great way to build the business. Finally, what's going to come from that is they're going to say yes or no. They're going to say yes or no. Now, if it's a no, stay in touch. I always say to people, I never personally hear a no. I never hear a no. I only ever hear no, not now. I never hear no. I only hear no, not now. You want an example of that? My lovely friend, one-star ambassador, Calvin Adamus. Calvin has, I don't know, 5, 6 ambassadors in his business right now. He's got a 4-star in his business right now. And he's on his way already to 3-star and 5-star. It took me a year of Calvin telling me no. And I'm going to get Calvin on in a minute. He will tell you that. He was telling me no, 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 no. But Steve was hearing no, not now. Now, when somebody says yes, they then obviously then, if they say 1, 2, or 3, if they're 1 or 2, you enroll them as a customer. If they're a 3, you enroll them and immediately you train them on the GST. I always say to somebody, I need 30 minutes to get you enrolled. And they say, what, 30 minutes to get me on the system? I say, nope. It takes 3 minutes to get you on the system, 27 minutes to go through our getting started training. Now, just to wrap this up, I'm going to go around our panel in 30 seconds because we're going to go to the vision call. 30 seconds. Is there any little final thoughts? We're going to go to Calvin, we're going to go to Mona, we're going to go to Sean. Is there any quick thoughts, guys, that you might have that you might add to any of these steps you might feel is worthwhile? Calvin, over to you, my friend.
Just only thing I wanted to add, what Sean said, that was very beautiful. We must have patience, but once someone says yes, you must create a sense of urgency and create momentum. Without momentum, you won't build. So that's very, very important. Get people together and get them taking action straight away and build a team so that you got some movement going on. Okay?
Awesome. Speed, momentum. Love it, Calvin. Mona, over to you. Your mic is off, Mona. Your mic is off.
Okay, mine is a little bit different, and this is because what I'm facing right now in the beginning of the market in Italy, it's keep attached completely to the strategy, to the system. The problem is that we are all old networkers. We come from different schools, from different ways of doing network marketing. This system, the strategy of Visalos, is genius. It's genius, and I have left everything that I've been doing till now with my social media marketing, everything. I have cancelled everything. I'm just stuck to the system, and this is what maybe might be the biggest challenge, to get this into the head of the old networkers, to really empty everything, empty their whiteboard, and just go and follow the simple strategy of Visalos. We are lucky to have something like that. This is what I want to say.
Love it, absolutely love it. And for old networkers like me, and even young networkers, Mona, like you, there is something that is very, very hard, but very important. I really appreciate you sharing that. Sean, over to you, my friend.
I think it's been said by Calvin and Mona actually, but just always be looking. Just look out and listen to what people want, and you've got a vehicle here to change that.
I love it. Just listen to people. That's a key one. Don't just hear things, listen to what people want, and we have the vehicle. Thank you, Calvin, Mona, Sean. I appreciate all three of you coming on and being panelists. Literally, we are now all cutting right across to the EU Vision Call. I'm going to give you the number right here on the screen. I want you all to hang up. I want you to dial in and listen to my lovely friend Dave Ives. 3-star ambassador Dave Ives is on with Blake Mallon. The numbers are there on the screen. I'm going to kill off the mic. I want to thank you all, both our panelists and everybody that's dialed in to this team hangout. Remember, we do it at this time, 30 minutes before the vision call every single Tuesday. I'll see you again. This is Steve Mitchell. I'm sorry about my camera problem, but please now dial into the vision call and listen to Dave Ives and Blake Mallon. Have a great evening. Bye, everyone.